Hej och välkomna allihopa. Gustaf Grauers heter jag är sportchef i Hammarby och vi har det stora nöjet att presentera vår nya huvudtränare. Vår nya tränarkonstellation. Gregg Berhalter här och Roger Sandberg. Jag tänkte jag lämnar över till en frågestund, men jag tänkte bara förklara lite hur vi ser på den här konstellationen. Det har varit en process som vi har hållit på med ganska länge och vi känner att vi vill veta alla alternativ vi har inför det här. Det var inte kanske det första vi tänkte på att vi skulle ta hit en tränare från USA. Men under resans gång så kände vi att det var oerhört intressant det Gregg står för. Och med Rogers erfarenhet och kunskap om Bayern som spelare och som tränare och kan klubben utan innan och om Rogers kunskap om svensk fotboll och om superettan så känner vi att det blir en väldigt intressant mix mellan de här två. Så Gregg kommer hit med ett lite annorlunda ledarskap än vad vi är vana vid i svensk fotboll. Och Roger står för en stor kunskap om vår liga och våra spelare och våra motståndare. Tänkte jag lämna lite frågestund.
When did you first did you know about the interest from Hammarby?
It was a couple months ago. You know, I was speaking to a board member, Chris Klein, and he asked me what I thought of the opportunity, and I was immediately interested. I said that I was well aware of the tradition that the club has and the standing it holds in Swedish football, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for any trainer. So, I immediately told him that I would be interested in discussing it further and putting my name in the hat, so to speak.
What did you know about the club before, or how did you get the information about it?
Well, as Gustaf probably just mentioned, I don't understand Swedish, but I think he did. I've been in Europe for 15 years in my career. Basically, my whole football career has been in Europe, so I'm well aware of Hammarby, and I have been hearing about him forever. Seeing the green and white, seeing the colors, and it's a known club in Europe. So I had my information.
What's your goal setting with Hammarby?
Goal setting, good question. We're gonna progress. We're gonna progress nicely. My goal is to build. My goal is to build a good team. My goal is to build a team that gives 100% effort every single game. The goal is to build a team that the fans come to the stadium and they're proud of. And that's how we're going to do. Myself and Roger, we're going to work as hard as we can to build a good product.
How much have you speak about the goals with Gustaf and stuff like that before you took the job?
Before I took the job? Well, I think the goal setting is something that we do. We do it together with management and, of course, the trainer team. And I think you have to look at the personnel that you're given, and you observe them, and then you set your goals. I don't think it would be right for us to say right now a concrete end product. What we want to do is we want to develop something. We want to, like I said before, we want a team that people can be proud of.
Have you seen all the pressure that most of the supporters think that Hammarby is going to play Allsvenskan 2013?
That's real, no question about it. Pressure is part of life, and like I said, we're going to work as hard as we can to build something successful. How successful, time will tell.
What about your relation with Bruce Arena? Will it be like a mentorship even when you're coaching in Sweden?
I hope so. I was fortunate enough to be an assistant coach under the most rewarded or probably the most successful U.S. coach in the history of soccer. So from that standpoint, I was working with the best the U.S. had to offer. And I'm going to continue to talk to him, continue to ask questions when is needed, and I'll maintain a strong relationship with him.
What have you learned during this year?
Well, I learned a lot. You know, it's one thing to say you want to be a coach, but then when you're actually doing it, is a lot different. And I learned, you know, I did everything possible, you know, an assistant coach can do under him, and he's good like that. He gives you a lot of freedom to express yourself. He gave me a lot of input, and you know, it was truly a rewarding year. And I would say his strength, he's an excellent man manager, and he's an excellent motivator. He knows how to get the most out of a team. He knows how to create teams that win. And in the end, winning is the most important thing, and Bruce is excellent at that.
For you personally, do you see Hammarby like a step to one day be the coach of LA Galaxy in future?
No, I see Hammarby as a step to take a team and make it successful. You know, this is where I'm at right now, and this is my only thought right now.
Is it important for you to bring with you players, American players, you think, in this environment?
I think it's important to bring the right players. You know, I don't necessarily. We won't necessarily look at a nationality. I think we're looking for good players, and if it happens to be an American guy, that would be fine. But I'm not specifically looking to. I'm not, you know, going to say I'm going to bring in 6 American guys. You know, that's. I think the nucleus of the team is there. You know, we need to bring in some accent players, but the nucleus is definitely there, and we'll do that.
And I can add to that. We're gonna use our strengths, and one strength is through Gregg and the scouting network we have in the U.S. and knowledge that the other teams here in Sweden don't have. So therefore, obviously, we're going to use all the benefits of having this relationship with the Galaxy and with Gregg here. But like we've been talking about, the three of us, it's not about nationality. It's about who the best player is and if we can get him for the right amount of money.
But your strong side as a coach, you have to say, it must be defense. Or what would you say yourself? Being a defender for so many years.
Yeah, you know, that's an interesting question, because you know I definitely, you know, last year with the Galaxy, my focus was more on the defense and you know, and turning that unit into the strongest unit in the league, and that was a massive focus of mine. But I would say that, you know, I realized that, you know, you also need to score goals to win games. So I think it's going to be a mixture of both, and we'll definitely be trained in defense, but you know, it's going to be an offensive team as well.
You just finished your career. How do you think that affects you in the team?
I don't know.
Positive, negative?
I think it can be positive. You know, I still have that connection to playing. You know, I still have that feeling. I know what it means when the guys are lacing up their boots. I know what it means to, you know, I remember what it means, you know, in my short-term memory, that, you know, to perform, to play under pressure, to, you know, to have to stretch yourself, to have to give everything. So I think it's an advantage.
How much did you see Hammarby last season? Have you seen like videos of the game?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've seen probably 6 or 7 games, and you know, my goal is to watch almost every game before the start of the next season. So I have a really good feeling of you know, exactly what the team was about last year.
What do you see the strengths and the bad sides of the team?
Well, you know,
Games you have seen?
yeah, I think there were some good things. You know, I think there's some good players. There's some very skillful players. I think that, you know, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to be a little bit more variable. We're going to try to mix it up a little. We're going to interchange a little bit more of the positions, and you know, on the counterattack when we have the chance, we're going to try to go with more players and really take advantage of that transitional moment. But I think, like we were saying, the pieces are definitely there, and I think that, you know, it's an exciting group to work with, and you know, and looking at adding a couple players as well. I think it will be a good group.
How much have you and Roger talked to each other? How much?
We spoke on the phone from America, and you know, I've met him last night. He's obviously busy getting his pro license, So, you know, he's in school, he's in the coaching school all day, but I met him last night and we had a chance to talk for quite a while. And, you know, we're going to continue talking throughout the next couple weeks, and we're going to get on the same page. And, you know, I'm extremely lucky to have a guy like Roger next to me. I mean, you know, being a young coach, there's no one better, you know, than someone who's done it, who's someone who lives and breathes the club, someone who knows Swedish football like he does. You know, I consider myself extremely lucky to be able to work with him.
But don't you feel it's a weakness that you don't have that kind of experience in Swedish football?
And that's why, you know, that's why he's so valuable.
Yeah. Do you have this pro license education?
No, I did a license when I was in Germany, a coaching license there, and I did my coaching license in the States, but I don't have the UEFA Pro license, and that's something I'm going to pursue when I'm here.
You played in Germany a lot of years. Does that mean that you like man marking defensively more?
That's interesting because, you know, the Germans were famous for that, and now they've totally changed. They don't play man marking anymore. But when I first got to, an interesting story, when I first got to Kopos, you know, we had a trainer who was trainer of former East Germany. Eder Geier was his name. Great, really nice guy. And my first 6 months in Germany, I had a hard time adapting. We played with Mondeckers and a libero. And, you know, this was 2002. Not many teams still played like that. And, you know, we struggled and we weren't doing that well. And to his credit, he, in the winter break, you know, in Germany has a long winter break before the start of the second half of the season, he totally changed and he let us play four in the back. And, you know, it was interesting, that transition. And you see that across Germany now. I mean, some of the German teams, if you look at Borussia Dortmund, if you look at Bayern Munich, they play fantastic football. And I think that's a result of their changing in their system.
How long contract did you sign?
A 2-year.
Yeah, well, it's a 2+1, so it's a guarantee of 2 years, and both like the job that's been doing here, we'll definitely go on for a third year and hopefully more.
What kind of ambition do you have as a coach in your career? You see it in a little bit more long term.
You know, I obviously have ambitions. You know, as a person who's been in top sport for a while, you know, my ambitions to be at the top. You know, one day coach the national team, one day coach in the World Cup, one day coach in a major league in the first division in Europe. But all those things are great, but you have to start somewhere, and this is where my concentration is firmly on. You know, doing the best possible job I can for Hammarby.
It's with Björn Rudström, the attacker, and he wants on some of the contracts are going out. Is it you who decides they will?
Yeah, I think you know, again, that's a group effort. You know, I'd like to think that we do things together here, and you know, that's going to be looked at by all of us and decided by all of us. And he's definitely a player that we're gonna look at and talk about and come to a decision on.
That's one of the other two.
You know, when we feel comfortable in taking that decision. No problem.
Are you related to him? Just kidding.
You are.
Just kidding.
Are you personally referring to David Beckham somehow?
Yeah, of course. You know, he's been my teammate for 3 years, and you know, he's a great person, a great guy, a great player, and you know, it was a pleasure playing with him.
Did you guess my second question? What the chances to see him here?
Very slim. Very, very. Let me see. It's Paris Saint-Germain, LA Galaxy, Hammarby, Tottenham. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I'll do my best, though. I'll do my best.
What about yourself playing? Is that any possibility that you yourself going to play?
That's impossible. I mean, it's, you know, it will be hard enough coaching and getting everything the way I want, you know, and to add playing on top of it, that's not going to happen. Good.
What?
She wasn't my biggest fan.
Talk about that. We have a history.
Okay.
Not you and me, but me and the club.
You will see a lot of me.
Can you tell us a bit about growing up? You grew up in New Jersey there, where
Yes, I grew up. Okay, go
a
ahead.
lot of football players seem to come from that city. Or
Yeah,
that place.
no, the area, yeah. It was, you know, especially the time I was there, it was a hotbed of soccer. You had a lot of national team players coming from there. You know, I went to high school with a national team player, Claudio Reyna. He's a very good friend of mine, and you know, it was the special thing about that area is it's an eclectic mix of different nationalities. You know, and they're passionate about football. They appreciate good football, and you know, it leads to a good understanding of the game at a young age. And I think, you know, we definitely had that.
Where's your heritage? Your own, your religion?
It's mixed up. It's let me see. I'm half Polish, a quarter Irish, an eighth French, and an eighth German. You believe that? And I married a Puerto Rican, so my kids are, forget it, they're all over the place. Big mix.
What do you think about Swedish football in general?
I think it's good. You know, I think it's excellent. I mean, you look at the national team, what an accomplishment qualifying for the Euro Championships, you know, and I think that traditionally they had some great players. I remember, you know, I had really fond memories of watching the Swedish team in 1994, and that was just, you know, a dream. You know, you look at the lineup and the players they had and the type of football they played, and you know, it was exciting, and I think that, you know, there's some good times ahead for Swedish football.
When will you be moving here to Stockholm?
Beginning of January. Yep, right away.
With your family?
Yep. Yep. We're looking forward to it.
We've been visiting a school today for his children, kind of organizing all things. While we gave him DVDs of different players that me and Roger and Alexander have scouted, and trying to get him in everything at once. So he's going back to the States on Thursday morning, and obviously we will be working all the time, but it will be mainly through phone and email and sending links and DVDs and stuff like that. So it's not that he's not working until he gets here.
What about tactics? You're 4-4-2 guy or with a three-line defense?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. I think that, you know, the smart thing to do is to observe the team, look at the strengths of the players, and then employ the appropriate system. You know, I can say what I like, but that doesn't make a difference. If I don't have those players, it's not going to work anyway. So I think that, you know, my first objective, and you know, it's together with Rogers, is to really analyze the group, analyze what we're dealing with, and then we'll work on that.
Are you
And what do you like?
Temperamental?
Are you temperamental in your coaching?
I think so. Yeah, I think, you know, I think that you know, there's a certain type of emotion that the game brings, and you know, I would say that you know, sometimes I'm a bit emotional. You know, I wouldn't say that you know, that I'm explosive or you know, but I'll show some aggression, definitely.
You said you can say what you like. What do you like?
What do I like?
Yeah.
Well, to me, I like possession football. I like interchanging of positions. I like unbalancing the opponent. I like a quick counterattack. You know, I like tight defending, good defending, honest defending, and you know. But when you win the ball, you look for the furthest pass, and everyone joins in afterwards. You know, I think that, you know, soccer is a beautiful game. There's a lot of different ways to express it, and you know, there's not one right way to do it. The important thing is to be successful, and you know, we're gonna work on doing that.
say welcome.
Thank you very much. It's nice of you.
When Gustaf presented you, he talked about that you were bringing in a different way of coaching teaching from America.
Okay.
What does he mean with that?
I didn't say different way of coaching. I meant a different way of different mentality. And I think he has that from the heritage of American sports, growing up in America, and then he has a mix of, playing in England, Holland, and Germany. And that's what I said when I introduced you in Swedish. I said that this is well. You can ask the question again. I just want to clarify.
What do you think is the difference between your background? What makes this different from being a coach?
I wouldn't necessarily classify like my mentality is because I'm a certain nationality. I think that you are who you are. That's what type of person I am. I think that, I can be very demanding, but I'm also, accepting. And I think that I like things a certain way, and I want players to perform to a certain level, and I expect that they come to training, 100% ready to train and focused on the day of training. And I don't accept, not giving your all. I don't accept, non-commitment from the players. So, it's going to be demanding. It's going to be a demanding type of atmosphere. But on the same side, I believe in enjoying yourself, and I believe in expressing yourself, and I believe in forming a unit, forming a team, forming guys that are out there fighting for each other. So, I just don't think the mentality you can just say it's this or it's this. I think there's a lot of different sides to it, and working with a team, I've realized that it's not one way. There's not just one way to do this. There's a bunch of different ways, and sometimes we're going to go down the street and we're going to say, hey, that's the wrong way. Let's go down another road, and that's just part of it.
Do you think it's a big difference with leadership concept from America to experience?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's definitely true. The different cultures have different types of leadership. That's it's in Germany it was one way, in Holland it was another way, in England was another way, and I'm sure in Sweden it's a different way. I've been talking to some Swedish people and trying to get a read on what the team environment is like, and I'm sure there's differences, but part of that is Roger's here, and Roger's here to help me with that and say, hey, maybe you're too tough on the guys right now. Maybe they need a little break, or it's a work in progress. It's a give and take, and I think we'll get it right.
Roger, particularly, how do you feel about this? Do you think you had 3 weeks until the season starts? Do you think you have time to connect with Gregg?
Yeah, we've been talking on the phone, as Gregg told you, and we met yesterday, and I think we have time enough. I mean, it's not like we haven't worked during the period when Hammarby had been talking to Gregg, so I feel prepared, and it feels really good. We had a good chat yesterday, and I think we're going to cooperate good.
So on the internet that Chris Klein is your friend, obviously, and it's a Christian, like Presbyterian church or something. Are you also, say, religious?
I would say that my religion is a personal thing. That is not, it's not. I'm not strongly one way, not strongly the other way. Just to say that, I'm just right down the line.
Inga fler frågor? Då tackar vi så jättemycket för oss. Tack.
Thank you.